All right, welcome to another video. This is Reggie, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another video. If you were just in our live feed, I want to apologize to you. I don't know what happened, some kind of technical glitch. I could not get this thing restarted to save my life, and every time I did, it froze up on me. So I decided to give up on the live feed and to just go ahead and shoot a video for you guys unboxing these 20 some odd CGC books that I just received earlier today. So I'm going to continue where I left off, and then I'll revisit the books that I showed in the live feed at the very end. So if you're now watching this from the live feed, it'll just pick up from where I stopped, which was right here. This is Incredible Hulk, sorry, not Incredible Hulk, Hulk #1. That was actually published in 2008. I've actually had this book since '08. I actually took it off the shelf myself. It's a variant edition of Hulk #1, and it is a 9.8. But a pretty nice book, pretty nice grade, and I believe, of course, white pages. But I have a little obsession with the Red Hulk for some reason or another. So I actually have quite a few of the early Hulk books. So this is a book that I purchased on eBay, and just so disappointed in the seller and what happened with this book. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 300, and I had a really good deal on the book. Not a really good deal. It was a good deal, but unfortunately, the book had some color touching. So it is actually slight B1 color touching, small amount of color touch on cover, and that's what the restoration is. But you guys all know this book. It is the origin and first full appearance of Venom, Eddie Brock, and also the last Spider-Man costume. So I am definitely disappointed in this seller, because he certainly didn't tell me that the book had been color touched. So very disappointed in this one. I actually reached out to the guy, not on eBay anymore. Go figure. So the good news is that I actually have 2 copies of 300. The other book, which is probably just as good as this one, if not better, I got maybe 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago. It is actually the book that I went and had signed by Stan Lee, and is also getting signed by John Romita. Probably at the end, probably got signed at the end of this month. Actually, I need to reach out to the facilitator that's taking care of that for me. But getting that signed by the 2 of them, and getting it, of course, sent off to CGC for the signature series. So fingers crossed that that one doesn't have color touch, because I'll definitely be disappointed if that happens to me twice. So the next book is a Spider-Man book, and if you're just now watching this and you weren't in the original live feed, I actually picked up a relatively large lot of Amazing Spider-Man books several months ago from an auction, and in fact I received like in some cases doubles and triple copies of certain Amazing Spider-Man books. So what I did is I took the best, what I thought was the best of the best, and actually sent them in for grading with CGC. So this is ASM 96, and it came back as an 8.0 with off-white to white pages. But it is a pretty nice cover, pretty nice book. I can't remember what the grader's note said on it. I mean, the back is actually pretty darn clean as well. I mean, it's a pretty nice book. I mean, when I sent these in, I didn't know much about grading. Maybe there's a little bit of something going on around the staple. It's not loose, but it's definitely been pressed down upon. So it's kind of, the surface paper is kind of not exactly flat, but pretty nice book. Get all the Amazing Spider-Man stuff out of the way. Yeah, there's actually a fair number of those in here. Okay, cool. So the next one is ASM 900, story by Stan Lee. This is the death of Captain George Stacy, and it's also a Doc Ock appearance. It is an 8.5, but a pretty nice book as well. think I have like 2 or 3 copies of this one. Backside, pretty darn nice as well. Yeah, that's a nice book. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man 73. Stan Lee story, John Romita cover. First appearance of Silvermane. This is ASM 73, but a very nice cover. A lot of white on that. I've seen this book on eBay and other places, and a lot of times it doesn't look as white as this one looks, but it's pretty nice. Pretty nice book. 9.0. 9.0 for that one. I don't know if I showed the grade. It came out pretty nice. Next up, Amazing Spider-Man 72. It's an 8.0 shocker appearance. This is a not a bad grade for a black cover, right? I mean, those black covers are notoriously hard to get in a decent grade. So I think I have several copies of this one as well. And again, this was the best of the best that I sent in. All right, Amazing Spider-Man 71. 7.5 is a Quicksilver appearance. Pretty nice book. Very happy with that. I think I have a couple of copies of this one as well. I'll probably end up selling, I think, the raw copies of these books, because again, I sent the better version in, came back with a decent grade. And I mentioned this in the live feed. I actually didn't get any of these books cleaned or pressed. This was actually my very first submission to CGC. Didn't know a lot about CGC grades. Not really. I mean, I read the stuff, but I didn't know really about the value of pressing and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. And so didn't do that with any of these books. So theoretically, these grades could be a little bit higher if they were to get cleaned and pressed. So ASM 70 is next, and this is Kingpin appearance, number 70, 7.5. But a pretty nice looking book. Again, dark cover, gorgeous cover. John Romita, very nice. All right, this may be the last Amazing Spider-Man. This is ASM 64. Vulture appearance. This is 7.5. This one looks pretty good. That looks good. Another amazing cover from John Romita. Just a classic Spider-Man cover. I just absolutely love the Spider-Man books. And one of the things that I'm actually thinking about is potentially grabbing maybe one. I want to do maybe 1 through 100 of Amazing Spider-Man. So this is another one of, actually, let's do this. Wow, there are a lot of Spider-Man books in here. So we'll take a momentary interlude from Spider-Man and then go back to Spider-Man. This is a thick case. Wow. Marvel must-haves. This is the collection of the appearances of X-23, who ended up becoming Wolverine 9.6. Big Wolverine fan, so I decided to get this one slabbed. It's a thick case. Look how thick that is. All right, so back to more Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't realize how much there was in here. I didn't realize that. So this is ASM 76. Lizard cover. Lizard and Human Torch appearance. I think I have like 6 of these. Something crazy like that. But just a really nice lizard cover. The back is it's a little yellow. Not exactly bright white. A little yellow. Next up, ASM 77. White pages. Really nice Human Torch lizard cover. It's a nice looking book. That's nice. 7.0. Yep, 7.0. All right, so these are a little disappointed. In these. I thought they looked, and I had two of them, I thought they looked a lot better than what the grade ended up being for these. But it's Amazing Spider-Man number 100. This is the anniversary edition, and it's a really just gorgeous cover. I like this cover. You know, you've got Spider-Man in the forefront, and then his cast of, you know, characters all in the background there, but just a really nice cover with that yellowish glow to, you know, his figure. Kind of matches the yellow at the bottom, and it just bounces off the page. Love that cover. Love it, love it, love it. And so I have two of those. This one is a little bit better than the first, but it has, you can see the misalignment of the back and front cover. You know, it's got all that white space, whereas this one is a little bit better, right? Not as bad, but this one is a 5, and this one was only a 4. But again, it just, you know, I love this cover. I thought these would have come back much higher than they did. I have to go look at the notes on those. These two I'll probably end up, I don't know, I was about to say sell one of them, but I'll probably end up keeping both. So here's Amazing Spider-Man 98. This is, did I send in all of them? This is the drug story not approved by the Comics Code Green Goblin appearance. This is, I think, one of 3 that don't have the comic code. And I believe that I have all 3 of them. But unfortunately, it was only a 5.5. But this is one, again, you look at it and it looks really, really good. So maybe there's some kind of defect on the inside. I don't have to look at the grader's notes. And then this one is the 97, the another drug code not approved. Spidey fights the Goblin and lots more. Nuff said. Stan Nuff said. All right, this is a 97. Really nice cover. Love this book. Yeah, again, could have wished for some 7s for those. All right, so that is basically the end of the books in the box. Wait a minute, yeah, I think that's it. And then I'm going to run back through the ones that I showed in the live feed, just so you have a complete picture. So this is X-Force number 2. Is the second appearance of Deadpool, 9.4. I actually picked up, I think, 2 other copies of this recently to have those on hand, just in case. And I also have only 1 copy of Deadpool's first appearance. I may need to pick up a couple more of those. So this was, I made a joke in the live feed that this was one of the books that I've always had in the back of a box. And no matter what box it was always in the back of the box. And I always considered it, you know, Drek. If you watch my lingo videos, always considered it Drek. And so just basically a wasted book, and it was a wasted book right up until they made a TV show about it. So I'm not a huge DC fan, so maybe there's someone out there that really appreciates DC and this character, but it wasn't something that I appreciated when I first acquired the book back in my teens. So it is Black Lightning number 1, and it is a 7.5. I actually have I think 1 and 2. 2 is in a box somewhere. And I have Hulk number 1. I showed you guys the variant of this one. This is actually another one of the variants. It's a homage cover to the original Hulk number 1. But this is, of course, Red Hulk from 2008. And it's a 9.6. Really nice book. And then the last book, Black Panther number 1. I think this is a limited series, right? Maybe not. White Pages number 1, 9.2. I picked this one up. It was one of the first books that I actually picked up when I started to collect again, a few months ago. So essentially that is the end of the roughly 20 or so books, with the vast majority of them being Amazing Spider-Man. Thank you guys for watching this video. I have another box, I think, of 25 books that are en route, and I think there's much more diversity in that one. It's not all Amazing Spider-Man, but I think there's like a mixture of books. So hopefully you guys will tune in either into my live feed if I'm able to get my technical issues issues worked out, or you'll tune into one of my future videos that I'll probably record at some point next week when I share those videos. But as always, thank you guys for taking the time to watch my videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I highly encourage you to do so. And if you haven't looked at my comic book lingo videos, I invite you to do so. I recorded 2 of them over the last week or so. I think that they're pretty good, and what I attempt to do is to bring a little bit of light to some comic book terms that may or may not be familiar to you. So if you're a new new to comics, or if you're returning to comics, you definitely want to check those out. If you're, an experienced comic book reader and connoisseur, you still might want to check those out and make sure that I've got all my facts right. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.